Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Southwest Florida TechNet, and we are on YouTube Live internationally and on Zoom. We're doing FT8 tonight. We're doing advanced FT8. I'm going to show you everything I learned making 10,000 contacts on FT8 in about a year and 4 months. Okay, and so I'm going to actually it's about a year, a little over a year. I've had the system, and so I'm going to show you guys how I did it and all the secrets and tricks and everything that I learned, and hopefully you guys will see, some things that'll help you out. If you're not into FT8, maybe tonight will convince you that you need to get into FT8. Okay, I made my first 2,500 contacts with these headphones. Just like that.
No, that'll work.
If it works.
Box. I had them in a soundproof box, and I cut little notches so that the two wires could come out the side of the Pelican box, or not. It's a cheapy Pelican box, and it's all padded inside. And I had this in there, and I call it the Ian acoustic couple FT8 rig. And that thing, and then I put my rig on box, and anytime of course, it meant that I had to be quiet in here, because if I spoke too loud, it would bump the transmit for a second. But anytime the computer would go wee, it would open up the transmitter and it would transmit. I made 2,500 contacts using that acoustic couple rig with these dumb green headphones that I bought for $2 at the dollar store. I'm telling you guys, it's amazing what you can do. FT8 is easy. You don't need anything fancy. I still, to this day, have never bought the signaling box that they recommend that you buy. I'm sure most of you guys already have a signaling box, or some kind of external sound card that's specifically made for radios, and I recommend those if you can afford them.
Some of the radios have internal sound cards.
Yes.
Like my TS590, and there are a lot of others.
Can you guys hear the grid tracker?
Yeah.
Let me mute that until we're ready for it.
It's not bothering me.
No,
well,
it's not
I had it turned way down anyway, but I was testing it. We're going to be using that here in just a little while. All right, tonight we're doing FT4 and FT8. We're going to be using the WSJT-X program, and we're going to be going in depth. So a lot of you guys already use this program. Is there people in here? How many people in here have never used it? Either show me with a little icon or say something. Do we have some people that have never used it before?
No, I've never used this particular thing before.
No. Okay, I don't think. Okay, I've got a couple people that are indicating. So I'm gonna just take a real quick and show you guys real quick how it works. Okay. Let's see, we're screen capturing here. You guys should be able to see that okay. I'm going to turn back up the audio. All right, what you're basically looking at here is FT8 on the left side of this. Now, I want you guys to understand something. Mine is in dark mode. If you want to put yours in dark mode, just Google it. It's real easy. You just have to make a little icon for it. What basically is the left part of the screen, this part right here, this is your main communications window. The left window is what you're receiving. The right window is basically what we're transmitting, or what our two little brackets are either transmitting or receiving. Those show up in this window. These are our messages, which will generate automatically. And there's not really much you have to do down here. I'm going to show you guys the basic settings. I don't want to lose everybody, because I know a lot of people are here for the advanced stuff. So I'm just going to go real fast through here.
This window is FT4. You want to move it to FT8?
I can if you'd like. I've been using FT4 a lot more than FT8.
Yeah, but you're talking about FT8 and we're looking at FT4.
Everything's identical.
No, the windows are different.
The windows are different?
Yeah, underneath hold TX and stuff, you haven't got the info there.
I've never noticed.
That's no biggie, but...
Yeah, there's a button that disappeared. I see that.
So I'm not seeing the screen sharing. What am I doing wrong?
I don't know. I'm on my monitor. I see the screen share, so it must be on your
Wanted grid.
screen. There must be a window behind another window, and that's the window that's going to have it. If you're using multiple screens, sometimes they'll pop up on different screens behind something else. Zoom usually uses 2 or 3 different windows, and it'll get a little confusing. But
All
it
right.
should. Did you see it?
Yeah, I got it now. It was window behind a window.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you see Bill Gates, slap him.
I
All
will.
right.
More than that. I'll slap him for Melinda too.
There you go. All right, and let's see here. I don't know why this is okay. Mode FT8. Yeah, we can leave it in FT8. I want to tell you guys right off the bat. Let me tell you the difference between FT4 and FT8. FT4 requires twice as much bandwidth, but half as much time. So FT4 was basically made as a contest mode, where FT8 was made as an everyday mode. FT4 uses a lot more bandwidth. I want you to notice when I switch, see FT8, see how wide the bracket is here? It's only, what is it, 50 kilohertz or whatever. And then when you go to FT4, notice it doubles in size. So less people can be on one frequency using FT4, but there's a lot less people using FT4. You know what I'm finding lately? If I go over there and there's not a single person on there, if I just start calling CQ, people start showing up because people are watching. And as soon as a few people get on, a few more get on. Next thing you know, I got 40 people on here and we're all connecting with each other. The reason FT4 works so much better than FT8 is because there's not near as much QRM on the frequency. FT8 is being used by people all over the world. So even though it looks to you like the part of the frequency, like, okay, let me show you, for example, we're going to be on FT8. There's so much traffic on here. Oh, hold on. Let me put it on the right frequency. 074. There's so much traffic on here that when you find a clear spot to transmit and you stick your spot there and you start transmitting, what you don't realize is there's a guy in Japan on that frequency and there's a guy in the Ukraine on that frequency. You just don't see them on your waterfall because they're so far away. But their signal is wiping you out when you're trying to get into Europe. You see what I mean? So that's why it's important to work it when it's the right time. If it gets like right now, if it's so cruddy that I can't find a parking space to sit in, I go to FT4 or I go to 80 meters. I will not sit here and work FT8 or any of it when the waterfall looks like this. That right there is pretty bad. I could still work it. You can get up here on the high side, but see, there's just a lot of people. And for everybody, I'm using some simple crappy wire. If you had a big O antenna, this would look like one solid mass across there and you wouldn't be able to do anything. It would actually be too much, way too much. So what you end up doing is, oh, now what do I do? Well, you go to FT4, and in FT4, what will end up happening is there's a lot less people around the world using it. So the signals that are out there are clean, and they can hear you a lot easier. So I've had real good luck with that. Where's this at? Let's see if we can grab this. Well, see, there's nowhere to go. It's really tight. So let's go back to let's just stay in FT4 for right now. Let's let it run for a minute. Okay, so basically there's 2 different programs on your screen. The program on the left and on the bottom is WSJT-X, which is the program that does FT8, FT4. It also does about 18 other modes or whatever, and modes that I've tried to use but don't ever find anyone ever on. You basically have different frequencies. We're going to be on this one right now if we're going to find anybody. Now, basically, this is your frequency range down here. When we talk, we use a fairly wide bandwidth to talk. And on a waterfall, it looks about like this. It's like all across the waterfall. The computer uses a much tighter bandwidth.
Wanted grid.
So even though all our radios, all our dials are on the same frequency, our computers are actually transmitting kilohertz apart using different frequencies of sound. Isn't that really cool? I just think that's so
Wanted
neat. So basically, I don't have to change the frequency on my radio. Notice the frequency never changes, but I just move the notch down and I set to where it's transmitting now in this notch right here. And so now I double click and I'm trying to call them. And you can see the yellow line. The yellow line indicates that I'm transmitting. Now it's trying to receive. Now I know he didn't get that one because it didn't get out in time. So we're going to let it run another cycle. I'm now transmitting again. FT4 runs 7.5 seconds on, 7.5 seconds off. FT8 runs 15 seconds on, 15 seconds off. It's important to note here that your radio must perform at a 50% duty cycle or it will damage itself. So most radios, especially most good radios, will easily operate at a 50% cycle as long as they're cooled properly. So you got to make sure that you got a fan. I've got an extra fan behind mine that blows air across the case, and then it doesn't obstruct the two fans in the back that are sucking air out. Oh, there we go. He's answering me. This is in Canada, Labrador City in Canada. And on the right side of the screen, what you're looking at there is called Grid Tracker. Grid Tracker is another program. It's a companion program that goes along with WSJT-X. The neat thing about Grid Tracker is you can connect it for just about $15 a year or something. You can connect it to QRZ. And every time you make a contact, it'll bring up the person's information there for you. Notice he's 1,968 miles away at 19 degrees. There's all of his information. Up top, it shows you that I've worked him before. I worked him back on Thursday, the 1st of April last year on FT8 20 meters. The Grid Tracker takes care of everything for me. If I get... Now, this pops up. This is how I save my contact, okay? So you can see here, it automatically populates the entire logbook entry. Everything that needs to be in here is in here. Now, if I want to add something else, I can. But everything that needs to be in there is there. I hit that, it logs the contact. Now, because my Grid Tracker,
Wanted grid.
that noise was the confirmation that it's in my logbook. Ooh, somebody's calling me, so I'm going to try to call them back. Hey, what's up, buddy? Bedford, New Hampshire here. He called me out of the blue. I didn't call CQ, but he called me out of the blue. So that's pretty cool. I'll go ahead and boom, I answered him back. I got another contact. That's 2 contacts in 1 minute. Starting to get a little cruddy there, so I'm going to find me a cleaner spot on the waterfall. There's another one in the logbook. Now, over here on Grid Tracker, I go to my little gears here, and I can go here to logging, and notice it automatically logs to all the different logging programs out there, including Logbook of the World, which is renowned worldwide as being the most finicky program in the world, but it is navigable. It's not so bad. You can set up all these different Logbook of the World, Logbook of the Old Man, Cloud Log, Club Log, QRZ, HRD Log. All these you can do. N1MM Logger. There's even ones I don't even know what they are. So whatever one you use, you can set this up to where the moment you make your contact and you hit OK, boom, it sends it off. It's gone. I don't have to log contacts. It does all that for me. Okay. The Grid Tracker program, what it shows me here, I can turn all these features on and off, but it shows me some of the tracks that are going on right now. When it sees 2 people talking to each other, here, I'm going to try to grab, I want to grab this one. Let's see where this guy's at. Chattanooga, Virginia, United States. I contacted him on 20 and 80, and I've also confirmed him on 17, 20, 40, and 6.
Wanted grid.
So I've talked to this guy a bunch of times. I love this because it has all the information here for the guy, everything you need to know. I know you don't get to talk to him, but at least this way I get to feel like I met him a little bit. But anyway, on here you can turn the radar on and off. You can turn the grid squares. These little red squares, those are Maidenhead grid squares that I've already made contact with on this mode on this band. And it changes each time I change my frequency over here. It changes over here automatically and shows me the Maidenhead squares for that grid and that mode. If you make contact with someone on FT8, you can make contact with them 10 minutes later on FT4, and it's considered two separate contacts, even though it's the same band. Okay, I've got the weather turned on. I've also got PSK spots turned on. These white lines, these are some spots my radio has made just in the last few minutes, in the last 5 minutes, or 15 minutes, whatever this is set at.
Wanted grid.
See, these are spots that my radio has been able to spot. The information this thing gives you is abundant, and I've got some of it turned off. All right, the bottom down here I told you is the waterfall. The red is where you're transmitting. The green is where is like your selective receive. But understand that green thing doesn't matter. It receives the entire spectrum that you see on the waterfall. Okay, basically this level right here needs to be as high as you can keep it without it ever going red, which I try to keep it about 75%. If you get over 80, it turns red. The moment it turns red, you're distorting and you're going to start losing resolution. Your transmit power, your ALC needs to be as low as possible. You want your transmit power to be your output power to not be any higher than it needs to be. Okay. What I found is I turn my radio transmitter up to about 70%, and then I use this power level to adjust the volume going into my radio until I get my needle that shows me that I'm putting out about 70%, and that's how I kind of know that I'm balanced there. I don't know if there's another way to do that, but that's I try to do that because it's a little different. You don't want to run digital modes at 100% on your radio, and you don't want to run them with high audio, and you don't want to run your ALC really high. I'm gonna tell you something. When you're running digital, your radio is actually working pretty hard. It's a hard work it has to do, and your finals and all that. So it's going to get a lot of heat. So what I suggest is you run it as low as you can, with any ham radio. I've got mine set at 70 right now. That's about where I normally run it, 70%. And that way, I'm just not running I'm not taxing my transmitter any more than I need to. Now, if I look over and I'm trying to get Japan, and I see Japan, and I want to get Japan, I'll kick that thing up to 100 and try a couple times, and then I'll turn it back down because I don't want to mess my radio up. Okay. Down here, you can see this blue line right here. What this is basically showing you is the part of the cycle we're on. That's 4 seconds of the 7.5 seconds. And this down here shows you the mode you're in. And this is the actual digital mode that you're in right here. And the Ian's main, that shows me basically what my location. So basically this is set up for... So when I sign into this thing, it's ready to go. That's what I like about it. I pull up WSJT-X, I pull up Grid Tracker, and I tune my radio and I start working, and it's ready to go. And everything gets logged automatically. Is there any questions we have now before I get into the more advanced side of this stuff? Anything? Okay, I want to tell you guys the first thing. One of the things I did was that I wanted to tell you guys about was I went to my color scheme, and I went down here and I moved the CQ and message down here to where it's the last thing. Make sure it's the last thing. And then what I do is I turn it gray, And the reason I do that, if CQ is in the message, but it doesn't fit any of the other criteria, you don't need them in your logbook. You've already got them for this mode and this band. So make them gray. They had them coming up in this aqua color or something, and it was like distracting. And I keep calling these people over and over and over. So I changed it to where if it's a new call, it's purple. If it's a new grid, it's blue. If it's a new DXCC zone, it's green. If it's a new ITU, it's ugly green. And so on, and it goes all the way up. But you want to turn that last one. Make sure that it's down at the bottom, right above the last two there, and make sure that it's gray or some color so that you don't pay attention to it. You want to ignore those. All right, and I believe that's it for right here.
So it's gathering that information from Grid Tracker or from FT8?
FT8, the WSJT-X program actually gathers that itself from your ADIF file right here.
Where I don't see. Where are you at?
Okay, I don't know. For some reason, it's lagging a little bit. There we go. Yeah, you can see here where it says rescan ADIF log. If you click that, it will rescan. Like, let's say you put a new log in there, and then it will rescan that new log, and then it'll apply the colors that it sees based on that new log.
Okay.
What I do with mine is my computer keeps the ADIF log, and I keep that current. And what I do is, if anything ever happens to it, or I switch computers, I go to my QRZ and I download a fresh ADIF file of my current logbook. And then I put that back in the WSJT-X program, which is really easy to do. It's literally, to find the file, you just go right here to open log directory, and it comes right up, and it's this file right here. WSJT-X log.
Cool.
And right here, it's the ADI. This one right here, the log ADI.
Okay.
You put your file in there, and you just swap the names out, however, so that's the one named that, and then you're all set to go. And what'll happen is the colors will now apply to exactly what's in your logbook. And of course, it ignores like voice contacts. It only compares, like, if you're in 40 meter FT4, it's only looking for 40 meter FT4 in your logbook. That's all it's comparing it to.
The other thing that no one has ever showed me is how to generate the messages.
Okay.
But that's not advanced, so I don't know if you want to take time with that.
No. It's fine. Any questions are fine. Beginning, advanced, I don't care. This is the messages. I've never had to generate the messages. They generate on their own. If you want to call a specific person, you can put their call sign in here. So
you don't have to set up these transmit 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever.
Nope, you sure don't. But if I want to, I can put one in there and then generate the messages automatically, like that. See how I typed this call sign in there, and then I hit standard messages, and it created the messages. So now I can call him if I want to by hitting that and hitting enable. And now look, I'm calling him. Hey, what's up? Actually, I'm calling somebody else. What is it?
Colorado.
Why is that guy coming up with your name?
With my name?
Oh, there it is. There's Rick. No, see, I'm calling Rick right now, so it brought up his screen over here.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's how you do it. It automatically generates those. Let's say I'm going to answer this guy in Belgium, or let's see what comes up here. Hold on, let me call somebody. Watch what happens. I double click. Look, it creates them automatically.
I see.
Done.
Okay.
So you don't ever have to worry about that at all. As a matter of fact, I completely ignored most everything on the bottom half of that screen for a while. The CQ only right here, if it's busy, you want to use that so that you don't have to look at everybody else talking to each other. It'll just show you people that are calling CQ and people that are calling you. Over here.
Now both FT8 and FT4, you don't do a QSO. That would be JS8 or some other mode.
Yeah. There's no QSO here. It's basically it. You send your grid, they send their grid. You send your how you're receiving them, they send how they're receiving you. You send 7.3, they send 7.3.
Okay.
That's the standard back and forth. During a contest, it's half that.
Yeah.
Contest, I call CQ, you answer, I acknowledge, and we're done.
Right.
That's one reason why, and one of the things I'm going to get into with you guys tonight is contesting on FT4 is a lot of fun. I made 200 contacts in about 3.5 hours. Yeah, all over the place too. So it was really good. I put in some
what I'd be
alternate
tempted to do, start something like this going and then go on another radio and do CW or something else.
Yeah.
Same time.
Well,
That's kind of greedy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kinda
Well,
crazy.
I'll be honest. I don't generally work 2 radios at the same time, other than possibly I have a bad habit of answering somebody over here on this while I'm talking on the traffic net in the morning, and they tell me you got this weird whine in the back of your voice this morning, and it's because when it's transmitting over here at 70 watts, and I'm transmitting over here on this antenna, even though it's on the other side of the yard, you can hear the modulation in my signal. But all right, so we're having a hard time hearing this guy. I don't know what happened. Or no, did we get him? I guess we got him. Okay, anyway. It's hard because the screen's not quite big enough to get everything in here. All right. When contesting, let me tell you about this real quick, okay? I did the RTTY contest the other day. And like I said, I got almost 200 contacts, and I only worked it for about 5 hours. These are a really fun way to do it, and it's really, most of them are pretty easy to set up. Now, some you have to integrate your WSJT-X with the M1MM logger or something, and I've never been able to get that to work. I think that takes some kind of genius level dude, some kind of thing. I don't know, but as far as the RTTY contests and most of the contests that I've worked so far, WSJT-X connects right up. And how you do that is you go right in here to settings, advanced, and you click special operating activity. And then this is where you would select what it is. Whether it's the summer field day right there, RTTY roundups. I've been doing all the RTTY roundups. I've been having fun with those. You just click that and you put in your exchange, which is, in most of them, it's just Florida or South Florida, depending on who's running the contest. And you put that in there, you check that in the rules, and then you click OK, and it brings up a contest log, which there's my last contest log that I haven't cleared yet. And it shows you now I'm in contest mode for RTTY, and it actually puts me in a contest mode. And now when I generate my messages, you'll see, hold on. You'll see when I generate my messages now, that it generates them with different, it no longer generates the same messages. Now it generates RTTY roundup messages. See, instead of me saying you're -12, I'm saying you're 549, which is obviously a signal report. And FL for Florida instead of my grid square. You guys see where I'm at with that? Mm-hmm. So when you change for the contest, it actually changes the message the way they go out. Does it affect your logbook? No, they count just like anybody else in your logbook. And you know what else is cool? When you're contesting, and only when you're contesting, let me turn this off before I forget. When you're contesting, you can click this thing. Where's it at? I forget where it is. There's one that says automatically log contacts. I think it is. I think it's auto log contacts. But anyway, you can collect that, select auto log contacts when you're contesting, and you can call CQ and someone answers you and you answer them and it puts it in the log and it's ready for the next one, and it's just like one click. It's fast. It's kind of not fair, but it's fun. Okay, any questions on that, on contesting? Try contesting. I'm telling you guys, it's a lot of fun. You'll find a lot of people. Here's the other thing. John, AA4JS, my buddy, told me a while back, I've given a hiatus. I've gotten 15,000 contacts or something on FT8, and I've decided that I'm gonna go hiatus for a little while on FT8. And he hasn't been on for a while. And he says, you know what I noticed? I got everybody. He says, I go to a mode. He goes, I pretty much have everybody. Most everybody's coming up gray. I've already got them. And what I find is when contesting, I don't got everybody. And here's why. When there's contesting going on, they're club call signs. A lot of them out there are club call signs. Those are new contacts. Also, when you're getting contesters, which are a lot of times different than your casual users. So therefore, I find that I have a lot less people that are already on my got 'em list. And I end up adding a lot more useful contacts to my logbook when I'm doing that than I can by just going on a Thursday night on a regular frequency and doing FT8 or whatever. Okay. I'll tell you guys something with the waterfall. I have adjusted the colors on this waterfall to every different known color scheme that there is, and I always end up back at this basic one here, rainbow or whatever it is. I don't like any of them. Is it just me, or I don't know? Maybe it's just me. But anyway, when you're setting this up, there's two different ways to do this. This is confusing to people. If you want to put your wherever you want your transmit to be, you have to hold down the control button in order to move it. If you don't want to do that, or you're just using your mouse and you don't want to have to reach up to your keyboard, there is a shortcut. You can click where you want it to go one time and that brings the green one over. Then you can click this button right here and it will bring the transmit over on top of it. It's like a little shortcut. I use that a lot because when I'm doing remote, it's a lot easier for me to do it. When I use remote, I do Chrome Remote Desktop. I don't know if you guys use it. My throat's getting bad, guys. I'm going to go a little longer, but I'm just letting you guys know I'm starting to really have a problem here. I use Remote Desktop. If you guys have never used it, I strongly suggest Remote Desktop. It works great. It allows you to control multiple displays. Notice I can actually, this is all 4 of the displays that are on this computer all at one time. And it allows me to do basically however, set them up however I want. If you guys are using TeamViewer, you might want to try Chrome Remote Desktop. I'm actually in the process of switching over to it because I find it to work a little smoother and a little better. Also, as much as I was using it, TeamViewer kept telling me, we think you're using this commercially and we're not happy. Still kind of tastes like orange juice. I want my Mountain Dew back. Anyway, yeah. Okay, where was I? Let's see here. See this big nasty mess right here on the waterfall? I don't know what that is. That's something, that's my power pole or something. It's always there. Over here on Grid Tracker, I want to show you guys, this button right here brings up the solar. But why is this thing lagging so bad? There it is. It brings up all the solar stuff. And I use this a lot. Notice that's the same panel that you see on the newsletter. That's what I use it for that. I get it right from here. Your K index is right here, and your solar flux is right here. Those are the two most important things you want to look at. You want your K index as close to 0 as possible, and you want your solar flux index as high as possible. You want 200 or 300 if you can get it. If you get a 200 solar flux with a 0 K indices, you'll be able to talk to anybody anywhere. So that's kind of what we're looking for. This was up to about 120 a couple weeks ago. It's down back to 97 now. And the K is up to 3. That's not good. That means we're unsettled on the geomagnetic field. And so, yeah, not real good right now, but not bad. Okay, so anyway, as far as the advanced mode stuff, why does that still say RTTY? I turned that off. Maybe I didn't hit OK. There we go.
Oh, you tried the Fox and Hounds mode?
No, I have not. Have you?
Yeah, gives you
Let's-
12. You can, instead of working 3 stations at once, you can work 12 stations at once.
What do you mean?
If you go into Fox and Hounds, you can work.
What is that?
No. On the go into. Hang on.
Where you change to RTTY.
No, yeah, where you change to RTTY.
Yeah.
Go to Fox and Hounds. Don't go to Fox, because Fox are the DX stations, but Hound allows you to work 12 different stations, and you get all at the same time. Oh, it's only available in FT8 mode. Yeah, I forgot that. And that's what those big heavy signals are, quite often below 1,000. FT8 won't go above, FT8 Fox and Hound won't transmit above 1,000. There's a couple of other things you missed. One is you need to have fake it on all the time and not rig, because, during setups. Because, mode, well, you want USB. I don't know what you're using, but usually people use USB, yeah. And actually the data bits and stop bits, you want to set all those to default, because they don't really make a lot of difference.
Well, I know, but I had some issues getting this thing going, so
Okay.
I'm afraid to change too much.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is, what you need to do is, because you'll lose if you're using Windows, if you leave it running like you do for ages, totally randomly, Windows will actually stop your COM port from you working quite often. It'll re-establish it, but quite often. So what I do to overcome that is I press test cat, which will go to green. Then I press PTT, which will turn your rig into transmit, but it won't turn it into transmit mode. And then I say OK. Now if you press PTT, it goes red, and your transmitter should be switched on into transmit, but it won't be transmitting. Okay, so then switch PTT off. You've done it. Stay OK, and then go to tune. Put tune on. You see tune on the last one?
Yeah, I wanted to find a clear spot before I just tuned over people.
Yeah. Power up and down until your power meter reaches the peak power that you said you were using. So if you're using 70%, you adjust your peak power and leave your ABC alone all the time. Just leave that, like you say, at minimum. If you increase it, you'll see it'll get to a point and then no more.
Right. If I go up, it goes right to about 66 watts, and then it kind of bottoms out there. So you don't want to go any higher than that. You want to bring it up just to the point where it's where you're showing your output to be right about where it is, like you said. Yeah. I found that with digital, too much is always worse than not enough. It doesn't, and Dave, I can't hear you anymore. I don't know if you were still talking there. But Yeah, I can't I can't stress this enough. I'm one of these people that had their house in the paper for having too many Christmas lights. I always overdo everything. Okay, look at my shack. Okay, just ask my wife. But digital modes is something you can't overdo the sound. You got to really be careful. I bring everything down as low as I can bring it with sound inputs.
If you look at your waterfall and look at about 1800, that signal there is actually being overdriven. You see those little ears that are sticking out on the right hand side and the left hand side?
Yeah.
If you look at the other signal, there's another one come up on about 1200. But those ears means it's been slightly overdriven. You see the one, say, at AF 1000 just next to your red? That one's kind of not so distorted. So what happens if you overdrive it? You just distort your, as you say, you distort the digital signal. You know the way, you know what the way WTX or FT8, the way FT8 works, it's actually FSK, frequency shifting key in, and it assumes that all noise is random. So if you drive it too hard, you're going to put noise on top of noise because it's distorted, and it will think that's a signal. So you'll get the same as the input. You'll get more signals when you're not going into the red. If you're going into the red, you're overloading the front end of FT8. So FT8 is getting lots and lots of noise, and it assumes a lot of it is all topped on top of each other, and it will try to decode it, and it won't decode. Now, the other thing is, with 2.5 on upwards, you can actually work 3 stations at the same time on FT8. You can, keep clicking between the one, and it will chase all 3 and bring up whatever all 3 are sending you.
Oh, crap. Let's see if we can get him. Where's he at? LU.
He's still in hound. He's still in hound mode.
No, I turned that back off because I don't have it configured right. I don't know how to do that. So I'm gonna read up on it though.
This is a scanner alert. 1,162 people listening to Kent County Police and Fire Dispatch, Kent County, Maryland, 8:10 p.m. Active event, building fire.
Building fire in Maryland. I'm getting scanner alerts.
Can you quickly explain the dB? What range I should be looking for? I mean, are all of them?
What you mean?
The plus and minus dB.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much any of it. I mean, the neat thing about this is if it decodes the signal, it's all it needs. So anything you see on the screen is decodable. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But as far as the actual dBs, I don't.
Okay, I can give you an explanation for the dBs.
Please do. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, that's your signal strength. Now, you need to know what the noise level of your rig is, which is relatively easy to find out, and I'll explain that in a minute. But basically, if you're on 0, it's a really good signal. If you're on plus, it's a massive signal. Typically, most people can work down to minus 15. FT8 will only work to minus 25 dBs. That's just literally an inverse of an inverse of a S point. So if you're to start with, don't work anything below minus 15, like I can't see one now. Okay. But minus 9s, minus 10s, minus 5s and everything will be really, really easy to work. Anything above that, if you've got a typical installation, then above 15 will be a little bit of a problem. You might have to send and repeat, send and repeat, send and repeat over and over again. Excuse me. Let me close the door.
I think we're back to the hound mode. So somebody put it back in hound mode.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. We've probably got a visitor. Yeah, so basically it's just like your S meter, but it's an inverse of your S meter. Okay. Now, another one that's important to look at is that DT. that's deviated time. And if that is more than 0.6, you won't be. See that station there, DL2MT? You'll have a problem working that one because it's half a second out. It's very important that your PC or your Mac or whatever you're using, the time is accurate because FT8.
One that's 1.2 off.
Yeah. Now what you'll have to do is physically move your time to work that guy.
Yeah.
FT8 won't work more than 0.6. So there's another one there.
FT8's somewhat forgiving. FT4 is not forgiving. You have to be right on the money with FT4. What you guys can do manually, you can go here and you can adjust date and time on your computer. And then, hold on, I got to go to the other screen and get the screen and bring it over to where you can see it. And then you go here and you can sync time now. You can click that and it will sync your time. Mine failed because I'm using a program in here that actually syncs my time up every hour. You want your time to be correct down to 1/10 of a second if possible. But yeah, and that's how you can tell, guys, right there. The DT is the time you are off the other people. So
no, the other people are off. Yeah.
From you, which either way, whichever. But you can see here how there's a couple that are below me and most of them are just above me here. So I'm pretty much right on time sync.
Okay.
But that's what that one is. And then the frequency is just simply the frequency down here, how many kilocycles it is above the dial frequency. And that corresponds down here. So in other words, if you see this guy at 329, you can come down here to 329. That's probably him right there. That shadow right there. So you can see where this guy here is down here. That's what that's for. And Dave, thank you for that. I appreciate you know more about that kind of stuff than I do, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, there's one more that's kind of useful. Is
go ahead.
You see the UTC, and you look at it, and every single one on yours at the moment has got, you've got visitors as well. On the other side, it's got a 5 on it. Well, 5, that means an odd cycle. But if you look at costs earlier on, you worked a station, or there was a station on where the last digit in the UTC is a 0. That means he's on the even cycle. There's 2 cycles, 15 seconds on, 15 seconds off.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly.
So you don't want to be trying to work a station when you're transmitting because he's transmitting, so he won't be listening to you. So, just stop and then restart. That's what I do.
I like to keep this set on hold TX frequency. That way it doesn't move the TX frequency around and I move it around manually.
Yeah, you lock it where you want.
I like to lock it where I want. So I always leave that clicked. I leave that clicked, but that goes on and off on its own as I click things around. And auto sequence I keep on and call burst I keep on. So basically I keep all 5 of the boxes checked for me. And this one over here, I'm going to show you this one because this one will really piss you off one day. You'll come in and all your menus are gone. Watch this. Oh, now watch, it's not going to let me do it. Oh, there we go. Notice that the file and all that's gone off the top?
Yeah, that'd drive me crazy.
Because it doesn't indicate it.
Why? I mean, I didn't know that. And I clicked it one day and it took me 30 minutes to figure it out. But anyway, so that's what that button does. So you don't need that button. But and then all these buttons along here are mostly just there. There's not a lot to do. The log QSO function happens automatically. Stop self-explanatory. The monitor's automatically on. Erase does nothing but just clear your 2 windows out, which I just did, but it's taking a second for it to update for some reason. There we go. You hit erase once, it clears out the right. You hit it twice, it clears out both. Decode works automatically. That button's just there to blink blue and let you know that it's doing something. And then, so really basically you're just using these buttons right here. This turns your transmitter, this enables your transmitter for the next cycle. It also turns your transmitter off after the next cycle. If you want your transmitter to go off immediately, you have to hit halt transmit. Okay. That's something that when it's, man, this really sucks that it's lagging like this.
Wanted grid.
Yeah, because
ITU code.
there's one other one. And the two arrows underneath the transmit frequency, you can click those if you want to tune your, just a tad one way or the other. You know, if you want to move it, if you've got a clunky mouse, or, you know, an old-fashioned mouse with the ball and whatever, you can't do it smoothly. You can see, like, at the moment your transmit is set at 1805 and the transmitter is set there, but the right-hand side is almost clicking, so you can click that up and down, and you can just move it a couple of kilohertz at a time. And if it's a real busy band and you want to, you know, squeeze in the most that you can, you know, get on either side of your transmit frequency, you can move it on those two arrows. I use that quite often.
And see, I do everything with the mouse click.
Yeah, well, if you've got a good mouse and you've
Yeah.
got a good mouse pad, then you don't need it. But that's a way of just kicking it over, you know, a couple of kilohertz, or not even a couple of hertz.
Right.
You can do it with those buttons. Personally, the way I use it, I have the 3 buttons on. I have hold TX frequency, auto sequence, and call first.
Right.
But what I do is, you haven't got too many up there at the moment. Oh, in FT4 you don't get them. On FT8 you'll get both the station that's being called and the station calling. Well, you can only work the right hand one of those, but you can double click on that and move it in transmit frequency as well. And I use that quite a lot, because there's some stations, you know, if you look on you know, Reporter, I have mine open a lot more. But if you look at Hawaii, it won't come up on the left-hand side, but there's a guy there merrily working away, station after station after station.
Right.
So if you double-click on him, when you get a double report, see, your FT4, you don't get the double report. You're on FT8 now, aren't you? Why haven't you got...
Yeah.
You can only see one side.
No, well, I had CQ only checked. I just
There you
turned it
go.
off.
There you go. See,
Yeah,
like, you
because
can...
there's 10 pages of stuff come up if you don't.
Yeah, but look, there's a station there, TA3LHH, and he will never come up, because I can't remember where TL3 is. That's Turkey somewhere, isn't it? So if you want him, you have to double click on him, and he will come onto your right-hand side, and the next time he's available, then he'll transmit. So I leave mine open a lot. I know it's a little bit of a pain, but you can look for, it's like there's an Italian station there, he won't be up. So there's K6. Oh no, sorry. No, that K6 might be Alaska. Usually it's 7. The CD7, that's down in. Yeah, they're moving quite fast. You can hold them by just clicking your mouse over them. But I do that quite a bit. So I use, you know, I look for a particular person that's not calling CQ or something, you know. Because some of the rare DX, or just places like Hawaii, Alaska, and Japan, you know, they won't call CQ once they've got a station, and they just keep calling station after station. And if you're not monitoring them, you won't see it. So you've got a Spanish station there, EA5RO. See, his signal is -5, so you'd be able to work him easily, but he's not coming up in the CQ window.
Yeah, I do that some, but I don't. You know what I've been doing lately? There's just, because I've got so many of these people I've already got. What I've been doing lately is I will leave it in CQ only, and I set the alerts, and I've got a speaker back here that plays these alerts that you're hearing. And what I'm working on today, I'm working on the newsletter. And what I'll do is I'll go in here and I'll set the alerts. I'll turn off some of these, or maybe 1 or 2 of these, so that it only goes off when it's a new zone or a new grid, or so, you know, whatever, however I want to do it. And then anytime when I hear it go off, I just look over. Oh yeah, I'll get that. Boom, and I get them. And that's how I've been getting some good contacts.
Yeah, but that will only come up if the guy is calling CQ.
No, I understand that. I trust me.
Yeah.
I understand what you're talking about. I get it.
Because when you had the CQ only switched off, there wasn't that many grey ones coming up. So if the grey ones are the ones you worked, then all the others were ones that you never
No.
called.
The gray ones are people calling. The colors only apply to ones that are calling CQ. If they're not calling CQ, they just come up black. Normally they would look white on your screen probably, but they just come up black. The only ones that come up colors or gray or anything like that is a CQ.
Oh,
So,
okay, I'm with you. Yeah.
Let's see. All bands, signals. Received by the call sign, all modes.
Yeah, that's why I always switch mine into that mode so I can see. There's a Spanish station there, XE1AC, the thing in it, and he's just called RR73, so you could double click on him and you'd probably work him, but he wouldn't end up calling CQ, or probably not. I wonder where that TA3LHH, that's Turkey, isn't it? Oh, he's calling Japan, so that's no good to you.
Yeah, I know. I won't mess with him.
Nah.
It really aggravates me when people spend all day calling specific places.
Well, they're trying for their DXCC and stuff. I got WAS Japan now. But I call, like about 4:30, I'll start calling CQ Japan. And it's amazing how many stations you can work. On 17, 15, I don't usually do it on 20. I even did it on 10 the other day when the index was high. It's amazing how many stations there are in Japan.
Oh, I know.
And they all listen and they don't call.
by some measurements, they have as many operators as we do.
But their country is so much smaller than ours.
Yeah.
So, and they've got, where we've got 11 different call signs, they've only got 8. So and as far as states is concerned, they haven't got states, they got the regions or whatever, and they've only got 7. And they haven't got counties, they've got administrations or something. And they haven't got 3,000 odd like we've got. I think they've got 31 or something. But yeah, the grey zone is from here, really, really effective into Japan. Sometime around 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Yep.
I usually start about 4 if I'm just sitting around. I get a real kick out of working all the Japanese, I must admit.
Yeah, I like to work Japan, New Zealand, and Australia. Those are the ones you have to get on the gray line on the other side of the Pacific like that.
Yeah.
And those are the 3 that you can usually get over that way.
But yeah, if you and then you can actually work 3 stations at once on FT8, not just one. So if you've got 3 stations calling CQ, you can double click on them all. The first one in the line will get the CQ, and then when that comes back, you click on that, and then the other one, and FT8 will keep a track of it. So when you click on the one, you'll get your 4th message or whatever. TX3 will come up. You go back to the other one, and TX2 will come up. You go back to the other one, and TX5 will come up. So it remembers 3 stations that you're working.
I did not know it does that. I did not know that. I literally was doing that manually. I would answer the first guy, and then I would finish him out. And the moment he was done, I'd go up and click that second guy to make sure that I finished up with him. And then I would go up and click the third one to make sure that I could finish up with him. Sometimes when you call CQ, you'll get 3 or 4 people answer you.
Yeah, and
you can clean them up if you do it right.
Yeah, you can, but you can also click on all 3 so that effectively you're working 2 of them on the same cycle.
So I would basically, I would, if I want to answer, well, he's calling me CQ. I'm going to automatically answer the first one that comes in.
Yeah,
and then I'm calling CQ. And then right then I would go ahead and click on a second one too.
Yeah, as soon as your generated messages come up with him, because you're not into his cycle until it does.
Right.
So you get 3 guys calling you. The first guy, the 3 reds, the guy at the top is calling you. You look at your underneath your standard generated messages until you see him. And of course, he won't be giving you that first call, on 96, he'll be giving you TX2. As soon as you see DX2, you can go to the other guy and click on him, the second one down. As soon as you see TX2 on him, you can go to the third guy, and then when you see TX2 on him, you can then go back to the first guy, and it will be reading like TX3, or if you're lucky, it might even be reading TX4. So you can keep rattling through that way. You have to keep track of it by just watching under the messages. But
now I want to call CQ and see if I can
see if you can do it. Yeah, you can do it. And what it'll do, it'll memorize where that guy was the last time you worked him, effectively. You know, the last time he was in your cycle. It will only remember 3. If you do 4, the first one disappears.
Right.
So it basically all it's doing is remembering the call sign against the transmit. You still have to manually switch. There is no, I think Z, JST -Z or something or other will do that. I'm not sure what the difference is.
So you have somebody on TX2, one on TX4, and one on TX6. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but you only see them when you click in the window. So basically, it memorizes where those people are.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Wow.
You know, I mean, it's so sometimes, you know, like you say, if you work in Japan on the grey lines, sometimes you'll get phenomenal signals. And literally, I've had +9 from Japan, which is unreal. But it'll only last 2 or 3 seconds. And the way that Ian is working them, those, you know, few seconds, he'll work one, he might get the second one, and probably won't get the third one. Where doing it, click 1, click 2, click 3, whatever, you can sometimes, not always, but, you know, just at that few minutes, you get a few minutes with the grey line, sometimes it's really, really, really good. As I say, plus signals are a real plus.
Yeah, I don't get a lot of plus signals.
Yeah, you were getting them then. I saw +3 if you scroll back up.
Yeah, there's a few. I don't have an optimum situation here. I think I told you guys, I don't know if I've told everybody, but I've got some money that's arrived, and we have already contacted and contracted with a tree company, and they're removing all these trees. Let me see if I can, it is pouring outside right now.
Yeah, I'm doing the same as you. I'm looking at the same place as you. I've got mine set up slightly different, but if I can share my screen for a minute,
Yeah,
you'll see how many pluses I get. Okay, I can go to view options. How do I get to share?
Holy crap, look at all that rain coming.
Yeah, we got a tornado warning here.
No.
Yeah, we did. Our areas has been launched.
Tonight?
Yeah, let me just read it to you. Where am I?
Weather radio.
That's down here, mine, not up with you.
I don't see anything going on down there.
Yeah, here we go. Weather forecast today. Collier County EOC has informed areas that the National Weather Service Miami has issued a weather briefing placing Collier County under a marginal risk for severe weather. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Please be prepared and observe the weather-related incidents, report as needed, blah, 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 blah. And we have to do ours on 146.670. 147.030 if it's not working. Yeah, and that's from the EOC, you know, the emergency. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if that's interesting because there's really not.
I mean, we're not that far away from you, but you see, Fort Myers is down where it says Golden Gate. Naples. It's far enough away that you probably didn't get it.
Looks like I'm
We're getting that weather though. Look at this. If you're getting this now,
yeah, it's lightning.
Rick, it's just above you. I mean, you might get a drizzle, but this is all running. This is all running right up through Central Cape, and it's going to run right over my house and go right up into Babcock. So yeah, there you go.
Lightning. So if you got your radio hooked up, you better get them disconnected.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so I just wanted, but yeah, you go ahead and share screen if you want. Let me stop. There you go. Go ahead.
Okay, hang on. Where do I? Oh, share screen. Oh, you know, on Zoom now you can press Shift and share two screens.
Really?
Yeah. So if you look at my screen on the left, I've got a -9 KD7JR, +9, +13 is KD8 PDG, +14, +11. So I get quite a few pluses. I don't know if you can see. It'd be interesting to see if we can see the same station. So, like W3BBE is calling CQ on 952. Can you see him?
Wait, let me set it for CQ only. No, I don't see him.
He's +5 with me.
I notice you've got yours set to 7047.500 and Ian's got his set to 70.
Yeah, well, actually, he's on FT4 and I'm on FT8. We're on two different systems.
Okay.
I'm switching.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, do you want me to?
I'll switch to FT4.
All right.
I do much better on 4 because the frequency's cleaner. Notice on his waterfall how clear it is between the broadcasts. On
that's
FT8, it's crud all the way across.
But if you look at my FT8, it won't be. That's what this. You know, I said to you, I've got a talk how I can double the performance of your station for free.
Yes, looking forward to that.
I'll tell you, this is what I've done here. And it all started one night about 8 months ago or something. I was talking with Joseph, and he was looking at his, SDR, and I was looking at mine, and he said, "Wow, why is yours so clean?" And I've been working on it, and I was thinking it's not as clean as I'd like, and that's where it all started. So where are you, FT8 or FT4?
I'm on FT4.
Okay, so I'm on FT4. I'll leave it back. See, that top bit was actually FT8. I kind of quickly flicked over. Now,
I'm
see.
you.
Oh, you are? Where?
Yeah, I'm gonna call you and see if you can hear me.
Yeah, but you'll be like a -13, 15 or something. You'll be way down because we're too close. We're on 40 meters.
Oh, I know. And it's running pretty long.
But just look at one of the stations that are up there in Echo Mike somewhere. So I've got CQ just come out on 1915, which is KI0 Charlie Tango. 1915. That's where those little arrows come in. You can set it exactly. Have you got him?
What's his call sign?
KI0 Charlie Tango.
No, I don't have him.
Nah, it's weird, isn't it? I mean, trouble is 40 meters. You know, you can go 5 miles and work a completely different set of stations. He's gone up to +19 now. Can you see that? So Echo Mike 79. He's where is he? He's up somewhere up in the north, well, mid northeast or something. So basically, that dB figure is literally just the inverse of your S meter. And if you look, I got a +22. Oh no, he's off frequency. Yeah, you might find, as I say, we'll probably do it next week, and you'll be kind of amazed when you're on the radio. Basically, I'll explain what you have to do, but you can be a pain in the ass doing it. Your wife won't like it, but it does make a difference. All right, I don't want to hold you up anymore, but
no, you're fine. I'm calling you now. I'm seeing if you can hear me. I was not on the right mode, but I'm on the right mode now.
So you're FT4.
FT4.
You're still in. I got 74 500
And
set,
I'm
so I'll
tuned
go back to
perfect. I'm at 100
74.
watts, and I'm calling you directly.
Got you. Okay, I've replied. You are minus 13. So that should be easily workable.
And I can't hear you.
Can you see the screen? You can see yourself on the screen,
I can
can't
see
you?
myself on your screen, but I can't see you on my screen.
So hang on, that means you're deaf, doesn't it? Because I can see you. Oh, somebody else is calling me, look. KD8 PGL. You know that guy I said was plus 15?
Yeah.
So no, I can give you a demonstration how 2 work. So now I'm calling him, and you were on 2. Now I'm going to let him go through to 3. You're still there. You keep calling CQ, don't stop. I'll wait until KD8 PGL goes through to TX3, and then I'll switch back to you, and it will show you as being TX2. Here we go. Now I'll go. Oh, I've just finished him, bugger. He was such a strong signal. He went through quick. So I can still go. He's still up there, and I can still go back to you, and it'll go to 2. I go to you, and there you are. You're on 2. So I haven't lost you. I'm still making contact with you, going back and forth. But obviously, that's interesting. FP4 comes out with different odds and evens than FT8. I guess that's how it knows what mode it's working.
Well, it's because it's half as
So now
long.
you've actually, the QSB...
It's only 7.5 seconds.
Yeah, that's interesting is that the QSB at the moment, you drop down to minus 18. When that storm comes up on 40 meters, sometimes when there's a storm about, if you leave your antennas in, the signals, the short range signals, what do they call them, NIVIS or whatever, really improve, because what will happen is the signal will come up and it'll bounce off the thunder clouds or the, you know,
Right.
the lightning excited modules in the air and come straight back down. So you can get good NIVIS signals. See, your signals disappeared altogether now if you look at the waterfall.
Yeah, I actually, I don't know why it's disappeared altogether. I'm still transmitting. I just cleared up with a guy in North Carolina that called me.
Yeah, so if you see there,
AC3.
now that's interesting. See, I can't see that North Carolina guy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I love 40 meters. Like you said, if you're one town over, you're seeing a whole different group.
The whole world, yeah.
Maryland 8:10 p.m.
Because you can see, look, if you look on the, you're transmitting on something like, I don't know, 727, 730, 702 maybe, I don't know. Because you can see it, I can see you there, that's you.
Yeah, see, on my end, I'm transmitting at 1200, at 1197.
Oh, that's you then, is it? No. Yeah, but to me, you're not.
Oh.
You're actually transmitting on 1835? Oh, that's me transmitting. Yeah, I got you on 702. But that's where your reference is as well, because I'm referenced at 47,500. What are you at? 7,400?
Holy shit! I got 4 people calling me at one time now.
Go for it. Oh, I can see one, KC3RN. And you've got KK4ISJ calling you as well.
Yeah. No, I don't even see him calling me. I got other ones calling me.
Well, KK4ISJ, he's calling you on 702, which is where I was calling you, so he's hearing you there. He's minus 11 with me. And KC3RN, he's calling you on 701, and he's giving you minus 13 from me here.
And I can't hear him either. See, I'm
But he's calling you.
right, and I'm getting out more than I'm receiving. I think I'm transmitting better than I'm receiving. Of course, I've got it turned all the way up right now too, because I was trying to get to you. That's why all of a sudden I'm getting so many people answering me. I'm at 100 watts.
Oh, you're taking birds out of those trees.
That's all right.
The bird's eyes are going to be going in the dark.
Yeah, well, you call CQ at 100 watts and it's like wham.
I never go above 80.
I normally don't either. Matter of fact,
Okay, I've got N1 UK calling me now.
All right, I'm gonna let it rest for a minute. But yeah, man, holy crap!
All right, I'll take this off sharing. All right, sorry to take you all over the place. Where am I? How do I stop sharing? Stop sharing. There you go.
All right, just an update. This is a live look at the rain coming in, and it looks like if you're in areas of Southwest Cape, East Central Cape, North Fort Myers, Bayshore, you're going to get training effect tonight.
You're also going to get some lightning. I heard some thunder just a few minutes ago. Reached up and disconnected my antenna.
All right, so there we go. All right, anything else on that? Let's see here. All right, is there any other questions that I can answer for anybody when it comes to FT4, FT8? I know it's kind of a short night. I'm sorry, guys. My health is really bad tonight.
Yeah, well, that's first. You got to deal with that.
Yeah, you got to get that right first.
It was never going to be a 4-hour night anyway. But yeah, if there's anything else we can go over, I'd be glad to show you guys anything you want me to show you when it comes to FT4 or FT8.
That was extremely helpful. Really appreciate it.
Good. I hope so. I love FT8, and I want everybody else to love it like I do. I really do. Mostly because that gives me more people to talk to. But yeah, look at all those people I just got all of a sudden. Whack, whack, whack.
Do you you didn't mention PSK? Do you that PSK reporter?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. In fact, I can show you. I have it right here. I run it on the same computer on a different screen.
Yeah, that's my #1 tool.
Oh, that's not it. Which display is it? I got 4 displays on this one. All right, yeah, there's my PSK reporter, and that's showing you my current activity and my current.
Yeah, you're not sharing it yet.
Oh, is it not shared? I thought
No,
I shared that.
we still got your ugly mug.
Oh, let me try to get it here. I clicked it. I don't know why it didn't do it. There we go.
There we go.
All right, yeah, this is on a different screen on the same computer. But this is basically my PSK reporter. All you guys got to do is go to pskreporter.info and then click the little link for the map. And then I just leave it set. All bands show signals received by call sign KO4EFS. All modes, 15 minutes, go. And under display options, I like to always have show connecting lines, always. But that's all you do, and there you go. It's showing me right now in the last 15 minutes, all the different stations that my computer was able to hear from. And so to me, that's incredibly helpful. It also shows you that pink oval, that's basically showing you where the majority of it's working for you at that moment. And that's also supposed to show you what one jump is at your current frequency. And that, if you notice, that's about right. My furthest south contact I can get is up here in Tennessee or something. Notice that? 40's not working close in tonight.
Huh.
It's funny, it doesn't show you on there. Of course, I never heard from you, so. But anyway, yeah, I love PSK Reporter. Probably one of my favorite websites. I use this all the time. I have a screen up there that's on all the time that shows all the bands, so I can see what everything's doing out there. All right, any questions on that? Switch this back.
Which is, I mean, this is interesting. I'll switch lines on as well, so I look the same as you. If you want to share again, we can see the difference between yours and mine.
Yeah, go ahead. I've turned it off.
Oh, okay, and I've got to go there. Share screen. PSK reporter. Share. Well, that's mine.
Yeah, showing about the same pattern. You're actually doing a little better to the south than I am.
Yeah. A few more lines to the thing, but look how big my C is compared with your, effectively my unworkable area. is
Well, you know, some of us are just a bigger C than others.
Whoa! Whoa! Are we gonna go there? Oh, I like it. I like it. That's okay. Right, I'll stop sharing at this point. It's only going to go downhill from here.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting giddy. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to be healthy again, to be over this mess. I can't believe how hard it's raining outside.
Yeah, it's
I'm
tough,
surprised
really.
you can't hear that in my mic. It's like it's pouring on the roof.
Yeah, the